realizing and fulfilling their personal potential, and who are also dedicated to the evolution of humanity and sustaining its brilliance. As a human family, now is the time for us to come together, stronger than ever, with shared goals for the health and sustainability of our world. Now is the time for us to stay informed, remain awake, and evolve together. We know that as humans, we are a force more powerful than any challenge or obstacle put before us. We know that each of our unique life experiences has made us better, kinder, stronger, and more resilient. We know that together we can create the life, the society, the spirit, and the world of our dreams. T&M Life provides space for people to explore new skills and experiences, deepen existing passions, and unlock undiscovered possibilities. Our coaching, master classes, life classes, and events are designed to provide you with practical solutions to real-life challenges, as well as offer useful tools and applicable skills for creating and living an extraordinary and magical life. We want to empower and challenge people to make a very real difference in the world, and to shine their light as a beacon for others and invite them all to be brilliant. Our personalized life coaching can help you clarify your goals, identify obstacles to awareness, and barriers to practical action. It supports you to develop strategies and identify tools for success and well-being. By co-creating and collaboratively designing your unique path, life coaching targets and makes the most of your unique skills, strengths, and gifts. By helping you to make the most of, you, life coaching provides the support you need to achieve long-lasting transformation and the greatest impact. Life coaching is intimate, discerning, and profound, and available to people who are ready to discover, embrace, and share their magical life. Our life classes offer immersive learning experiences to amplify the more personal and intimate aspects of your life. Our programs promote personal growth and include knowledge and insight around healthy living, mental wellness, emotional intelligence, effective communication, relationships, authentic self, and much more. Our life classes will show you how to thrive in life and to create the world of your dreams. Our life classes provide both practical knowledge and profound insight for some of life's most important skills and competences. Our T&M Master Classes are dynamic learning experiences that offer you access to experts who, through trial and error and personal and professional experience, have mastered the subject they teach. Learn from those who have trod the long path to knowledge, their missteps and shortfalls, their epiphanies and successes, and finally, heed their wisdom. These programs are delivered in a way that will resonate with those who wish to deepen their competency in a particular area. They are focused, practical, and learnings are easily transferable to everyday life. Our events, whether live streamed or in person, will leave you energized and engaged, poised to change yourself and our world. We will offer new perspectives, thoughtful inquiry, proposed reachable goals, the tools you need to attain them, and an empowering and inspiring personal plan for a magical life and fun. Follow us and subscribe to receive information about upcoming events. Join T&M Life, a supportive, creative, and life-changing community of people like you.
And welcome everybody to tonight live streaming. I have Lisa with me tonight. How are you, Lisa?
I'm fabulous, thank you. Nice to be here.
And Lisa and myself are going to be talking about a very interesting topic tonight, is why to become a coach and what's the reason for anybody to consider coach training, coach education, and structured approach to learning to the core coaching competencies and skills. And we have a lot to share tonight with you.
We always do, yes. Yeah, and I love we're going to talk about the why in terms of you personally and your business, your, what you might do with it for other people, but what you might do with it for yourself.
Yeah, and for both Lisa and myself, we have been in this profession for a very long time. We don't want to disclose how many years, right, Lisa? Like,
no, it's a secret. it's a long time. Let's leave it.
It's a long time. It's good, so a long time. And we really saw the power and impact of coaching to people's life, to people's businesses, to their corporate lives, to their career, to who they are and what they are and how they live. And we are completely and 100% aware of the power of coaching. but equally we're aware of the power of knowing how to coach well and understanding the craft and skill that coaching is.
Totally. There's a lot in coaching that feels like what we do anyway in life. And I think often that can give people, I want to say, sort of a bit of a false sense of security, a bit of almost complacency that, oh yeah, I coach already, I do that naturally. And I certainly came from a profession where coaching skills were a sort of important part of it, even though I didn't call it coaching then. But what I found is every single person who said that, when they really come and they learn, not formally as in we're really not formal together, right? But when they learn sort of structured coaching skills, it always takes their coaching to the next level, even if they're really natural at it.
And I remember the story how I became Coach Liz. I've shared this with you a few times. I think it's interesting for people to know, and and it's a very funny story, that I was always naturally focused on human potential and human development, and that was something that was part of my DNA very early on. And I was in management and leadership position in my early career, and instead of focusing on business all the time and success and KPIs and how to make it really profitable, I was always saying that humans are the most important capital of the business. And if you develop and grow human beings or people within your teams, within the organizations, the business will take care of itself. So that was something that I always believed. And one day my lovely wife and I were at a semi-holiday, it was a late evening, everybody left the beach, we were sitting at the chairs looking at the sunset, and somebody left the magazine on the sunbed. And my wife picked it up, and it was actually a Cosmopolitan magazine. She never reads Cosmopolitan because that's not her style, so I was joking and teasing her, like, oh my God, you're gonna read Cosmopolitan now? And she says, yeah, why not, we're on holiday. Anyway, she was just flipping through Cosmopolitan magazine, and one of the first coverage that this Cosmopolitan issue had was the editor of Cosmopolitan magazine has hired the first life coach from US to coach her in Europe. And she was reading about this profession as the editor was writing about this new emerging profession that was coming from United States into the Europe at that time. And that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And she picked it up, gave it to me. She said, this is exactly what you do. Read this. This is what you do. And I read it. And you're absolutely right, Lisa. It was what I was doing innately and naturally. There was a care, compassion, empathy, love for people, love for human potential. But actually, I didn't really know how to do this, besides of improvising and being a good friend and listening actively and sharing my, compassionate heart in the situation. But I didn't really know the craft and art of coaching. And I was aware of that. I said, yeah, that's exactly what I do. But actually, I don't know how to do this. I think I do, but I don't have a clue, So then I've embarked to find out my coaching education and enroll with the coaching program and begin learning, how to coach. And that whole learning journey actually gave me what I needed to have, which is competencies, structure, skills, models, mindset, understanding. So when I show up in this relationship and I do what I do naturally, I can accomplish and create something for the client, in this case, the person I'm coaching. Isn't that interesting?
It is totally. I mean, in a way, it's similar to the reason I got into coaching in the first place. And I really never meant to be a coach. That was more of an accident. Mm-hmm. So I'm just echoing in your, decided that I was a physiotherapist at the time, and I would get to this stage where people would drive quite a long way to come and meet me, to get my advice. I had this really high reputation, and then people wouldn't take my advice. And it really, I didn't understand, because they were in pain. They were going to lose their job. They were going to lose their wife, or they couldn't play their sports. The motivation was there. Mm. But not the action. And it really showed me that having knowledge and skills and experience isn't enough. I needed something to help me understand how to encourage people to change. And that's when I actually found coaching in a magazine. There was a little tiny snippet, and it just said, come on a life coaching day. And I didn't even know what life coaching was, but you just get that intuitive, So I went and I signed up just to become a better physiotherapist, but then I fell in love with coaching, so I swapped.
Yeah, I love how you say it was an accident. We always believe there are no accidents, and you're guided in that direction to find that article, exactly as I was guided to find that newspaper at that moment in time as well. But the important point here is that we both know that a lot of people are coaching, people who are consultants or counselors or even mentors. They use core coaching skills and they feel they're coaching. But what we really want to communicate, at least myself, is that there is a specific structure and education behind coaching that really makes your natural gifts and skills that you are what makes you a good coach anyway, to a completely different level if you choose to train professionally, right?
Yeah, and I think that coaching profession hasn't necessarily done consultants, mentors, physiotherapists, managers, people who use coaching in their everyday life or would like to use it in their everyday life rather than necessarily become a coach. I don't think we've done them any real favors, because a lot of people have been on a weekend course or a short course, and they've learned a model and they've learned to ask questions, listen, and then they go away and they feel like, oh, it didn't really make much difference, or I was already doing that. So what I liked about what you said is for me, coaching is about drawing out people's natural wisdom. And therefore, when you do coach training, I don't believe you should be stuffing somebody full of information. You should be drawing out their natural abilities to coach so that it's in alignment with coaching itself.
And I think that alignment with coaching itself, in the essence, is that coaching as a profession believes that every single human being inside of themselves has solutions to all their challenges or has insight around all their opportunities going forward. Basically, we all have within us what we need to be able to engage with life fully, tackle the issues, or expand the opportunity. And it's our job as a coach to facilitate that learning process, the process of discovery, to get people to tap into that innate knowledge that you're saying and highlighting, to be able to drive their life forward. And I think that is the most magical skill, but extremely challenging, isn't it?
It is. And I think sometimes coach training can be quite limiting in that sometimes it's about exploring the shadow, or sometimes it's about positive psychology, or people can get very dogmatic about coaching, or sometimes it's only about the model. But when you actually have the whole range of ways that you can look at something, the different tools that you can coach, then you can free somebody up in the moment. They don't have to be ready to set a vision. They might be really struggling with themselves, so you'd help them to claim their own power, get their life in order, be happy. Then you take action. Or somebody might have done that and they're into the mega space of changing the world, and so you help them to strategize and step back. So human beings are also different. They're also complex, and they're also incredible and wonderful. And everyone's at different stages of their life. So that's why coaching needs to be all inclusive of all those people at all stages of their life, and able to go into the future, into the past, to play in different areas of the timeline.
Lovely. And for me, what I love about what you said, it's also that you can play throughout different timelines, but you can also learn throughout coaching education not to really give advice. Because I think when people start training as a coach, that's one of the most challenging things to kind of grasp and to really understand, is that coaching is not about giving somebody advice from your perspective and telling them what you think they should do in their life situation to be able to create result or become a better at anything they would love to. But it's actually getting them to find that advice inside of themselves, asking the question, what advice would you give to yourself? And because we're so wired to give advice, to interfere with other people's life, because it's easier to see it from external, right? that becomes one of the skills that is so interesting to master.
It's often the thing that people say is the hardest, isn't it? Is to not give advice. And as in my case, I had the best advice. I was as qualified as you can get. I had all this experience. People would pay me all this money and not take the advice. If giving advice was the answer, we wouldn't be in this mess in many ways right now.
Yes, true.
And also, sometimes people genuinely don't know. They don't know how to do something. Yeah. But often they do know how to do it. And the reason the advice isn't working is because they wanted different advice. So, sometimes people have gone to all different places. They've paid lots of different experts who've all given them advice, all of which would probably work at some level, but they haven't found the answer they want. And that's because human beings will do anything to avoid pain. So if we believe that the advice we're being given is a bit painful, is uncomfortable, then we'd rather find a better answer. Whereas what coaching does is it frees us up to explore that unconscious fear, and also to claim who we are, to say, I'm somebody who can do this. So that advice works better from that space. If you're going to get advice from someone else, not from your coach, obviously, at least get your coaching first and then go and get the advice.
Absolutely. To clarify. Yeah. To absolutely. I love what you're just sharing about advice. But the reason why I brought up this topic is because in the art of learning how to become a coach, this is one of these skills that is so simple, but also so challenging, as you said. When we teach coaching and we say you should not give advice, you should, that's not coaching. I see this again and again and again, how humanity is totally wired, not only to give advice, but to value the advice, right? So if I come and pay for, let's say, consultation, and I would get the know-how from somebody, they know something that I don't know, and I'm buying that consultation. When in coaching, we really want them to explore and find that inner resource. We believe that they already have them inside of themselves. So I think it's an amazing skill to learn and apply.
Yeah, and it's very passive to go and receive information. So when somebody tells you, do it this way, your brain is so happy, right? That, finally I have the answer. And you go away and you try and take the advice. But let's be honest, if you give 10 people 5 steps to follow, they're not all going to get the same response. Some of them are going to fly. Some of them are going to fail. Some of them are just nothing's going to change. So it's not about the steps. It's about so much more than that. It's about who you are, what you believe in, whether those steps fit your strengths. So when we're just giving advice, we're missing the opportunity for people to take ownership of the action, to engage their brain so that they're thinking more creatively, and then to come up with a plan that is aligned with who they are, rather than try and follow a plan that worked for somebody else.
Exactly. And I think that is the bottom line of everything. They will come up with a plan that really reflects themselves instead of trying to adapt to the template what somebody else has done in the past, because we're also unique, and our way, it's our way. Wonderful. Yeah. So why do you think people should train as a coaches? What is the benefit of somebody stepping into this education, gaining the skills and knowledge and competencies, and then practicing as a coach? How do you see that benefit for themselves and then also for humanity?
So coaching is definitely sort of for you, for me, for us, for humanity, as you say. So the personal journey through coaching is one of knowing yourself better, of really meeting yourself and saying, hi, understanding who you are, understanding how you work best, how you tick, what motivates you, what your success strategies are, how to quiet your mind so you have some sense of relief. We're also busy, right? So there's this personal happiness and fulfillment. And then there's this piece where we work with the person that we're coaching or the team that we're coaching, whoever it is. So, you know, we've both done so much work in the corporate field, right? But how many times have you heard somebody say, I knew that I was going to be a better manager after this program, but I didn't realize I was going to be a better father?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that journey of personal development is one of the most wonderful benefits of training as a coach, because in order for you to be able to coach somebody else, you have to get to know yourself. You have to understand, as Lisa beautifully said, who you are, what motivates you, what are your core strengths, what are your visions, what is your mission in life, what are your core values, how do you tackle your needs. So that deeper exploration of you and getting to know you, it's a foundation of successful first step of training as a coach. And even if you don't practice coaching as a profession, still it's an amazing education, because you're going to get a lot out of it just by learning about yourself.
Well, you know, so many of our students have come on the programs to be happier, or to be better managers, or to be better parents. So many want to know, how do I apply this to my parenting, right? And then you asked about humanity. And I think this is also, of course, this is such a joy, because for every single person who is happier, the human collective consciousness is raised. Every person. And then when you're happier, you have an impact on the people around you. You think better, you're more creative, you're more in touch with your intuition, so you take better decisions. So even just starting with who I am is going to have ripples. But then if I'm coaching somebody else, you know, I've coached, between us, we've probably coached people in most countries, right?
Yes.
So, you know, we coach somebody in China to start a school about parenting. So she then wrote this incredible book, right? So then parents in China are learning to coach their kids. They're going to the teachers, asking the teachers for something different. Those children are growing up in a different environment. We have the evolutionary parenting course in China as well, particularly, hopefully globally soon, where parents are coming in and saying, who am I as a person? Who does that make me as a parent? What's the environment I want for my kids? The kids grow up differently. They parent differently. Literally, when you start looking at the potential, it's beyond mind-blowing. Even before you start adding in coaching corporations to do things differently. So humanity is just constantly raising it in that vibration because of coaching, I would say.
Absolutely. And we've seen this. We've seen the outcome of one person getting that pure understanding of who they are and how that impacts everybody around them. And I love this example of parenting and evolutionary parenting and evolutionary coaching, when people really learn how to apply core coaching skills in their life. And as you said, you know, we have both had managers and CEOs and leaders in our coaching courses who don't say, well, you know, as a result of this, I've increased my sales or transformed my organization. That also can be an outcome. But they come and say, I became better father or better mother or better, you know, friend. So there is this whole level of learning how to coach to better your life. And then how do you impact and affect humanity as a result of you becoming the best possible version of yourself? Yeah.
I was working last year with a Nigerian oil company, and it was such an interesting experience, because we're working with the board to, you know, right now our planet or humanity still dependent on oil, right? We still need oil at the moment, arguably. So to work with an organization who are looking at, how do we make current oil work? How do we make it safer? How do we actually make it cleaner? How do we save the lives of people on the ground? How do we do it more accurately so we damage less of the earth? And at the same time, how do we create cleaner energy so that we never need this oil in the future? And it's really extraordinary because I know nothing about mining for oil. I literally, there isn't a piece of advice I could give. But it's such an extraordinary experience to work with these incredible senior people who did know a lot about it, and create the space where they're communicating and they're exploring and they're being creative. And every time they say, but that's the way it's always happened, you hear it as an outsider and you challenge it, and they say, well, we could do it this way, we could do it that way. And then these guys really actually getting fully emotional about, wow, yes, we could have this impact on the world. That's another aspect of why I train as a coach, because you impact people so positively in a way you couldn't possibly hope to do with advice.
Absolutely. And that positive impact on humanity is something that, for example, personally drives me. Whenever I think about why am I coaching, why do I love this profession so much, what is my personal driver, is that impact of collective connective consciousness, as I call it, and our ability to become this magnificent creation that we fully are. And this is one of the examples with the oil company, to break the dependency and to get people to be super creative and super innovative in their thinking and in their being in order to transform how we all use energy going forward. So from your experience, Lisa, and from our experience, I can chip in and talk to it about. So first impact, why did we train as a coach, is you better yourself, right? You really polish and become the best possible version of who you are, and be through learning a very deep principles of self-exploration and then self-awareness, and then seeing how you convert the self-exploration and awareness into your life to become that polished version of you. And then we have impact on others. So in addition to positive impact of people's thinking, what are the other benefits that you've seen onto people when you're coaching? Meaning, how do you see coaching profession impacting humanity in the best possible way?
Well, as you know, one of my big focuses is working on change making, working with change makers. And when you look at change making, has traditionally happened in this paradigm of being in service to other people, but in a way that has me as the change maker on my knees. So I'm exhausted, I'm overtired, I'm probably struggling financially, but the people that I'm helping are in such a desperate state that I can't afford to put myself first. I must always put those people first. And what I see happening in coaching is to help that person, for instance, stop and say, what's a better way to do this? If you keep doing it this way, what's going to happen? And sometimes with coaching, somebody already looks like they're succeeding, but they're succeeding in a way that's not sustainable. So as coaching, we can actually help people to look not just at what they're doing in the world, but how they're doing it. And what impact are they having on other people? Are other people looking at change makers thinking, you know what, I don't want to be skint. I don't want to be exhausted. I don't want to ruin my family. I don't want to. So when we work together in this coaching space, actually what happens is we transform paradigms. We don't just help one person. So for me, that's a huge benefit of coaching, that we can work to help people to shift entire paradigms.
Absolutely. And transform. And I think you and I, we keep on saying now more than ever, we need to evolve, we need to transform as humanity. The situation we're in, it's a big wake-up call for all of us to take this responsibility to change, to evolve to the next level of itself. I also see the impact on people's life. When you coach, you see that on so many different areas. I mean, you mentioned happiness. People become much happier, right? With themselves. They get to know themselves and become happier. They relate better to everybody else. Suddenly they have this ease and lack of tension. They're able to achieve so much faster and much easier. One of the things that I love about coaching is that it's an action-oriented process. When you get people to focus on what they really want to create in their life, and then very quickly with the support of the coach, you see people creating, achieving, accomplishing, evolving, and really going for what they really want in their life and defining what is that they really want at this juncture in their life, right? So I love that, about coaching, that is, that it delivers, right, results.
Yeah, and it delivers results, as you say, that go deeper in terms of what people really want. So there's this lovely metaphor that often people climb to the top of the ladder, and then they realize they put the ladder up against the wrong house.
I love that one. Oh my God! I put the ladder on the.
Wait, let me down. To have people say, what is it you really want? People think they want, for instance, more money. I'm not saying they're wrong, and coaching is a great way to earn more money, but they'll put up the ladder against money, and then get to the top of the ladder and realize it wasn't about the money. It was about something else. Or another phrase that I love is the idea of suddenly syndrome. When people say, I suddenly had a heart attack. No, you didn't. Like, the heart attack was building up for many years, and then something happened. Yeah. Or people say, my wife suddenly left me. No, she was unhappy for a long time, probably. You were growing apart. So I think what coaching does is it helps people to look holistically at their life and say, okay, yes, you want more money, but what else do you really want? So let's not focus so single-mindedly on one thing, and then when you get it, it's too late. You realize you lost everything else.
Absolutely. I love the metaphors when you use them. Absolutely. And suddenly this happened in my life. So becoming aware, one of these aspects, why to train as a coach, and how do you help other people as professional coaches, you create this deeper awareness, and you really challenge people to step back from their busy lives or being so in the life, to be observing the life and to really see what's going on there, what's happening, and then to be able, through this awareness, to make different choices and decisions that would create a different life for themselves. My dog is agreeing. It's just outside. It's just saying hi.
Dogs are very wise. They don't need coaches.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So more results, more awareness, understanding what you really want, really questioning that, instead of just kind of being in that spin of life, understanding what do you really, really, really want in life, what is your true focus, and connecting people to the deeper life purpose or soul mission, so to say. It's an important benefit of offering coaching. What else, Lisa? It's good for people to know why they would train, and if they train and start practicing coaching, what they can expect to see in other people that are coaching.
Well, I think the whole concept of, let's talk about money.
Let's.
Great subject, right? So when you train as a coach, those coaches that, for instance, hold credentials, or that they are often the ones who they're able to charge more money as they create more benefits, more influence. But abundance, if you look at the word itself, the root of it is andare, and that means wave. And when you start building up the word, it means to rise as a wave. And then when you add ab at the beginning, it becomes overflowing. And this is what I love about coaching, that you start as the wave, you gather yourself up, like a wave when it sort of gathers its energy, doesn't it? And then it rolls onto the beach. So in true abundance, we start with ourselves, and then we rise as a wave, and we support other people, and we help other people onto the beach. We make an impact on other people. So this sense of both financial abundance, but also energetic abundance, fulfillment, it starts with you. You rise as a wave, and other people go with you. And I love that concept of coaching.
Yes, energy. And I think that, what you beautifully said, energetic awareness, that wave of abundance, you need to be open to that awareness and that consciousness, and you need to be partnering with that understanding on a deeper level. And once when you partner with that energetic, abundant way, the abundance actually flows your way. And we can see it in coaching. It really unlocks that inside of people. And I often see, these little questions and reflections or challenges or deeper explorative questions in coaching. They keep on unlocking things inside of people. And then as you unlock and you create these moments of aha, I love that when the clients say, aha, now I get it, right? It's like literally not what I told them, but now they get it themselves because they said it themselves instead of coach saying it to them. And when that unlocks, the new action or the new state of being is inevitable. It's you just do it. There is no any longer, okay, I'm going to retrieve back to my old ways because it's comfortable or it's secure. When you get it, you get it. The sliding door closes, the glass door is there, you don't go backwards. So those moments of breakthrough that will define the pivotal moment of your life, coaching offers that so beautifully.
And then also the support to embed that. So at a neurological level, when you go, oh my word, it's this, or oh my gosh, I'm that, it's this brand new neural pathway that opens up. It's a potentiality that is now open to you that was closed before. It was always there. Nothing actually shifted in the universe. It's just you shifted in the universe and saw it differently. But then in this reality that we've chosen, that we have a physical body, we're wired to do things the old way. So the joy of coaching is you help to create this, or one of the many joys, you help to create this new potentiality, and then you support that person to keep moving in that space. Because they can be super inspired. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then Monday morning, their boss says, no, you're not. So as a coach, it's about helping to spark the newness of the ideas, but then holding the space and challenging and loving them and calling them to account on what, after all, they said they wanted. You didn't tell them what they wanted.
So many wonderful things. And also, I think that what I love about coaching as well, it's an impact of defining and increasing the quality of how you relate to other people. For me, that's a really amazing outcome of coaching others, because I see it in people when they start learning how to coach and then they offer coaching to others. That core coaching skills of really being present in the moment, giving the full attention, you're listening, asking curious questions, having fun, being joyful and light in a state of being, right? Being able to be a wonderful, clean mirror to other people, just to reflect back, to mirror back. Suddenly, you learn how to relate to other human beings in a powerful way that really signifies the beauty of human interaction, so to say. I can see that people become better people as a result of being coached or learning how to coach.
Yes, totally. And that first relationship that shifts is your relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like yourself, then it's actually very difficult to properly like other people, because it stops being an unconditional thing. It becomes transactional. So for instance, if I really don't like myself and I give myself a hard time, then I need other people to validate me. So when I'm in my relationships, I'm behaving in a way that is asking for validation. Whereas if I feel fully validated, if I feel fully worthy in this world, then I can have a relationship with other people from a position of ease, that I don't need anything from them. Anything that comes from them is a complete benefit. So how we relate to people is so built on how we relate to ourselves. And that's why, we start with that as a foundation. I know in many courses it's considered advanced, but for us it's like about the third day, isn't it? Like, who you are with yourself is the foundation of everything in your universe.
And that self-love, or that unconditional love, is a foundation of you loving you in order for you to be able to love others. Same thing for me. I use the language, you being service to yourself in order for you to be able to serve others. And first, you need to be at service to you. You need to love you, accept you, embrace you, and then easily you can do this for other people. Journeys of coaching. So yeah, anything else you would like to add as we're slowly wrapping up? Anything that you want to communicate and share before we go into the final wrap around what is the most beautiful thing about training as a coach, and why to train as a coach?
I think because whoever you are, however well you communicate with other people, however kind you are, however generous you are, coaching gives you the awareness to go to the next level of that. You become more of all the best things about yourself. And for me, that's a lifelong journey of just falling more and more in love with myself so that I can fall more and more in love with humanity.
Yeah. So if you really want to fall in love with yourself so that you can fall in love with humanity, if you want to step into your power, I think for me, power is super important, especially your creational power, when you are completely aware and conscious that you're co-creating your reality. If you really want to realize your potential, and we all love that, right? So we have this seed inside of ourselves, and we keep on realizing our potential and actualizing our potential going forward. That's an amazing way to do coaching. If you really want to make a huge impact on collective consciousness, on humanity, if you want to do something wonderful so that we can co-create new earth, new life, new fifth dimensional reality, coaching is really good for you. And if you naturally care and love people, it's the best thing to do. So yeah, if this resonates with you, come up and sign for our evolutionary coaching program. We have different offerings. We're just going to tell you, a few bits and pieces about our offerings. We have foundational coaching program, which is for new coaches, right? For people who are learning how to coach and discovering coaching profession, so to say, and they have this innate gift, right? So the step number one is foundation, and there you learn everything that you need to know to be able to train as a coach, to start coaching. Correct, Lisa?
Everything you need, and even more.
Yeah. And then we have this advanced coaching, evolutionary coaching program. When you keep on unfolding and growing as a coach, if you're already practicing coaching, or you have core coaching skills in place because you've learned through your leadership development programs or to other coach training programs you've done in the past, and you're ready to go to the next level to deepen your understanding of coaching, this advanced class is also for you. And there you really you're starting to go towards mastery, right? In advanced space, you're really understanding the skills that are really transformational and breakthrough and lovely and instantaneous, and you can be much more skillful in creating an outstanding result with your clients.
Absolutely. That is the foundation of mastery, to really keep working on yourself, keep working on your coaching, and working on who you are when you're coaching. that's really deepening the presence and the skills so that you're really moving towards that mastery space.
Yeah, and then we have the mastery class. And the mastery class, it's something that is for the coaches who are already practicing for some times, and they are striving to get to that level of mastery inside of themselves, because they know, right, inside of themselves, where is the mastery level. And we all know, if we are touching that space of mastery, that brilliance, that magnificence. So when you step into your mastery training as a coach, you keep on unfolding yourself to reach that level inside of you that it's your inner master.
What I love about mastery is it looks so simple. And when you see somebody who's really in mastery, or you hear them, you can just feel the years of practice. You can feel the foundations done beautifully again and again, and the humility of it. That I love the metaphor that a master coach, any master, will always wear their white belt.
Yes, I do it all the time.
Round your head like a ninja.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So come and join us. Find out more about the Evolutionary Coaching Program, Foundation, Advanced, and Mastery at tnmcoaching.com under Foundational, Master, and Advanced Program. We would love to see you in our courses in the future. All our courses are currently delivered in the virtual and digital format, and we hope very soon we're going to be able to hug you in a face-to-face format. So thank you so much for listening tonight, and thank you so much for learning and being curious, why you would love to train as a coach. And thank you, Lisa, for coming and being my companion and joyful partner in sharing this knowledge.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Bye for now, everybody. Ciao.
Bye.